Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
And thank you for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in the studio today, Ed Bonderenka. Ed, welcome.
Hey there, thank you.
Hey, so the great debate this week, and I missed it this afternoon. The Gettysburg Address that Trump just did sounds like it went very well. I think Ed down the hall here said it was very good, so I can't wait to get home and check it out myself. But things are moving up, despite what the pundits in the media and the mainstream media is trying to push, that this is just a lost election for Trump. I'm actually feeling quite confident.
I'm feeling not confident, but I'm feeling, what's the word, expectant. Yeah. I really think we can do this. In fact, there's a part of me that feels that we may see a lot more than we expected to see. I'm really hoping to be surprised. I'm still saving the fireworks that I bought for 2012.
Well, there you go. You know, we've been doing this. Last week was actually my fifth anniversary show, and I forgot all about it until this week.
So we've
been doing this for 5 years here, and want to thank all the listeners that have been regular callers, and I thank Brandon, who's not here right now, but thank him for spending 3 or 4 of those years with me, and all our regular guys that call in. So thanks very much to all of you, and Derek, thank you for bearing with me now for 5 years. It's been a long, long road. Let's take care of a little business. Our sponsor this half hour is Regency of Whitmore Lake, 734-449-4431. If you're looking for some subacute rehabilitation, or you just need some help for one of your older folks, or you're getting out of surgery, Regency of Whitmore Lake is a great place. They have great staff. It's a brand new one. They renovated the facility, so they got a lot of really nice things in there. You can go to SienaHealthcare.com to check it out, CIENA Healthcare.com. That's SienaHealthcare.com. Or give them a call, 734-449-4431. It's just down the street from my house. It's a really great place. So if you need a little help, if you're older or sickly or you had something go on surgery-wise, give them a call. Okay, so the debate, Ed. You watched the debate. You said you missed the first half hour. But for me, it was another clear win for Trump, I think.
Yeah, I think so. He really nails her on quite a few of the issues. And as far as I'm given to understand, my wife was listening in my office while I was out on the floor working, and she said that the abortion thing went very, very well for Trump, that when he came out pro-life and forced her into the kill the babies that comes out of the womb position.
Right. Yeah, it was pretty harsh. And, you know, if nothing else, that would solidify the base of pro-lifers. And maybe some of those never-Trumpers, too, who are like, he's not conservative enough. Well, you know, whenever I hear that argument, my blood just boils because, you know, people who say he's not conservative enough are the same people who voted for Romney, who support Paul Ryan, who support Mitch McConnell. None of those guys are talking about sealing the borders and stopping immigration. I mean, they're funding everything Obama throws at them. So it's crazy when they say, he's not conservative enough. You're an idiot if you think he's not conservative enough. He's as conservative as anybody out there. Maybe not Ted Cruz, but he's as conservative as anyone else that's run. You know what I mean?
And for those who at one point, like myself, did not see him as conservative and question that, I was just in a discussion with a guy online this morning. I said, it's not. Dude, it's the positions. I'm not voting for the person at this point. You do not have to worry about whether he is, combs his hair to the left or right, whether he's loud and bombastic or, used a few bad words on a videotape when he was on a hot mic. No, you don't have to worry about that at all. You have to worry about your Second Amendment rights being preserved. SCOTUS, you've got to worry about the Supreme Court. You've got to worry about regulatory powers that should not be exceeded by the regulatory agencies as if they were the legislators. There's so much to worry about to not get stuck on petty personality issues.
Yeah, this is not just an issue of election of issues. It's an election of survival. And when I was driving into the station, I was listening to Matt talking about big government versus small government, and it occurs to me, when Obama took office, he inherited $10 trillion in debt, right? And that's the debt accumulated over every president from George Washington forward. I'm sure I'm not blaming all of them for it, but $10 trillion for 200-odd years of country's debt, right? And in 7.5 years, Barack Obama doubled it, right?
Yeah, to double it,
doubled it to $20 trillion. Now, let me ask you, why are we not all burping rainbows and riding unicorns for the $10 trillion that got spent in the last 7.5 years? Things should be perfect. Listen, if the Democrats were honest and truthful and could do everything that they keep promising, we'd all be eating ham sandwiches and riding unicorns. That's what we would be doing right now. But they failed. They doubled the debt and failed us because people are poor. People are more angry. Our military is weaker. We don't have as many ships, guns, missiles, or anything else. Where did the $10 trillion go?
You know those guys that walk behind the horses in a parade with the shovels? I'm thinking that the guys who walk behind Obama's promises are the only shovel-ready jobs.
Yeah. You know, they treat us like the American people. We are the ones picking up the garbage, and that's all we're getting.
Yep.
You know, we don't get the oats and honey. We get the garbage coming out the other end.
Yep. All those promises of jobs and infrastructure improvements, where did they go? And where's the cash?
Yeah, if they were
probably went the same place that the $6 billion that Hillary lost to the State Department went.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, I'm glad at the debate because, you know what, if nothing else, Donald Trump stood up and said things at that debate that no other Republican would have dared to say to her. You know, yes, he got ribbed for calling her a nasty woman. Well, you know what? It's the truth. The truth hurts. Sorry, folks, if that bothers you. She is a nasty woman.
Ask any of her Secret Service people. Ask the state troopers who guarded her in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. No, she is a nasty person. It's documented.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was telling my boss, Nate. Hi, Nate. I was telling my boss this. He hadn't heard those very things. No, Nate wants a link to the show. He says he wanted to hear it, and so I thought I'd give a shout out. So you were saying, though.
Oh, well, he brought out the emails, and, you know, and this is what made me mad about Chris Wallace, and I'm hoping tomorrow on Fox News Sunday or whatever he's going to make up for it, but he asked her about the WikiLeaks, and she pivoted, and even Donald said, yeah, nice pivot. You just walked away from that one, and Chris didn't follow up and say, wait a minute, you know, you've got a plethora of emails coming out saying everything from calling Hispanics taco bowls and calling you know what, that's what kills me. They want to call Trump the racist. Have you not seen the WikiLeaks?
Oh, the Podesta breaking people down into ethnic and religious and organizations, and then Sanders down at the bottom all by himself. Oh, we got the military. They had binders full of people.
Yeah. It's amazing. You know, if it weren't for the media covering up for her, this would be it. She wouldn't get 10% of the vote because she has said, her campaign has said nasty things about Hispanics, about Arabs, use the sand N-word with Arabs. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And she can get away with it and call him a racist? He's never said that.
Well, like Trump said at the L. Smith dinner, he says, I got to meet Hillary's campaign people tonight. They're seated out there. The head of NBC, the head of CNN, the head of ABC.
Yeah,
her campaign organization.
I watched the dinner, and I watched her speech, and I watched his speech. And, yeah, maybe a little out of normal, but, you know, it needed to be said. It's time for that to be just brought out. And you know what? He may have gotten some grief for it, but that's what Trump does all along. And the emails are what's really should be hurting her, and people just aren't paying enough. So we're going to bring this is Sarah Westwood. She's got a nice little track. Derek, you got the first one ready? This will bring you up to speed on some of the emails, stuff that's coming out in the emails. Run it.
Recently, the Clinton Foundation was forced to refile 3 years' worth of tax forms in the state of New York because they were out of compliance with Charity Bureau's requirements. That's significant because there has been a lot of controversy about the fact that the Trump Foundation was not legally registered with the Charities Bureau to solicit funds in New York. The New York Attorney General made public appearances, media interviews, and released the cease and desist letter he sent to the Trump Foundation. But the Attorney General's office was much quieter about the fact that the Clinton Foundation was also out of compliance with state laws regarding nonprofits.
Okay, stop it right there, Derek. You didn't see any of that on the news. They're bashing Trump and it didn't stick because he is like the Teflon Don on many of these things. She's guilty of the same thing at the Clinton Foundation, and not one word out of the media on this. Are you kidding me?
I'm shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Shocked.
All right, keep going, Derek.
We also had another release of Hillary Clinton emails. This time, we were looking at correspondence between employees of the Clinton Foundation and staff members at the State Department. It shows a close level of coordination between Clinton Foundation employees and State Department staff on a number of issues, from Bill Clinton's day-to-day schedule to policies that the State Department was going to pursue. This is significant because Hillary Clinton has emphatically denied that there was any connection between her foundation and her State Department duties. These emails, roughly 200 pages of them, shed more light on the fact that the Clinton Foundation was very closely intertwined with Hillary Clinton's State Department. One interesting email showed Clinton Foundation employees and State Department staff were brainstorming on ways to avoid the appearance of, quote, untoward influence from the fact that Bill Clinton was set to rake in six-figure sums from entities with interests in the Keystone Pipeline project that was then under review by Hillary Clinton's State Department. Hillary Clinton has already been accused of having uncomfortably close ties to the lobbyists and the banks that were pursuing the Keystone Pipeline project that she indicated she would support until she started running for president. Another email showed Clinton Foundation officials and State Department staff were very unhappy with a Weekly Standard article written in 2011 that was critical of the administration's position towards Israel. Clinton Foundation employees and State Department staff conspired to, quote, burn the author of the piece by releasing edited transcripts of that event. The, quote, blogger who wrote the piece was Elliot Abrams, a well-known member of the Bush and Reagan administrations. And finally, a Washington Examiner review of federal records shows that 60% of the appointments Hillary Clinton made to an advisory board she created in 2011 went to donors to her campaigns or foundation. This is significant because Hillary Clinton has adamantly denied that any actions she took at the State Department were influenced by her connection to the Clinton Foundation. But certainly the high volume of donors who received cushy government positions raises questions about that.
All right, so this shows pay for play everywhere. I mean, as Secretary of State, the Clinton Foundation, everything she's setting up, and that's clear in the Obama administration, too. I mean, they were literally ambassadorships were for sale.
Yeah.
I mean, they were selling them to the people. These are people that weren't qualified. Just because you know French doesn't mean you should be the French ambassador, right? And some of these people didn't even speak the language, and they were literally, and shame on the Senate for allowing it. They should have just said, come on, this is a payoff for your donations. Why are you here? You're not qualified to be. An ambassador should be somebody who's come up through the executive ranks, right?
Typically, yeah. Although there have been political favoritisms. Actually, Reagan did it. But, they're too obscure countries, things we don't worry about, people who don't have nuclear weapons.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
South
allegedly.
Africa. Israel, right. Yeah, no, right.
But as far as the pay to play, I realize she wasn't Secretary of State, but $12 million to the Clinton Foundation from the Moroccan king to have her speak, that was just a habit she had gotten into, negotiating better deals for herself and her foundation.
Yeah. And the Qataris given Bill Clinton $1 million on his birthday for his birthday. Yep. And they end up getting a meeting with her. Hello.
I didn't get anything.
Yeah. I'd like to get $1 million from the Qataris. Well, if you don't want to call into the show, you can always email, and I'll thank listener Don Miller for sending in. He sent in a list of 28 things that Donald Trump talked about today that he's going to do within the first 100 days, or try to do in the first 100 days, from the Gettysburg Address that he did today. And thank you, Don, for sending in. I'm not going to go over all 28, but we can certainly go over a few of them. First, propose a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on all members of Congress. Now, that's going to take all of us and Congress to do that. That's going to be a battle royale to get these congressional people to go along with that. Because let's face it, folks, those people in Washington, that 526, 544
at the trough,
at the trough in Congress alone, those people don't want to give up those $170,000 jobs because why? They're exempt from insider trading. That's how they're all coming out as millionaires. They're insider trading while they're there.
Yeah.
And so I don't think that's going to be a tough one. But thank God that somebody said it. And you know what? That's the kind of thing I want to hear from a candidate.
It's a position that we can support.
I can support that. Absolutely. Institute a hiring freeze on all federal employees to reduce the federal workforce through attrition. Boom.
Oh,
great
he just
idea.
lost the support of realtors in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia.
Yeah. And here's one I want to say he must have read.